There are many games in particular to have timer as its main thing. It can count down or mostly up. If you search for correct games, you may encounter the speedrunning games, where the time is the biggest thing to care about. Being able to go under certain amount of seconds or fractions of seconds, like in Trackmania games. But we are not gonna talk about seconds, neither hours. This is the search for Trackmania's time limits. When you go into editor in TMNF, you can not only extend any replays as you want, but this means you can reach a certain point where the time stops. If you, for example, give the 32-bit integer limit, aka 2.147 billion, a cutoff between the thousands and hundreds with a dot, it goes to 2.1 million. Now, if we use those 2 million as seconds, you are given 596 hours, 31 minutes, and 23.647 seconds. This time is very important for the video, and it can show what might happen at certain points. For example, during the waiting process, your game can crash or the timer just goes to negative numbers because of the 32-bit integer limit being reached. It flips from positive to negative until it reaches from minus 2 million seconds to 0 to 2 million seconds again. It's just a theory what might happen, and I don't want to lie to all of you at any point. When map builders are not happy with their map length, they can increase it by putting a multi-lap block instead of separated start or finish. Now imagine you are playing this track. Looks easy for driving, but don't forget how laps can make a very big difference in how much time it takes to finish. If you just drive forward with only one lap, you could look at 17 seconds. 10 laps, 2 minutes. 1000 laps, 4 hours. There's so much to think about what numbers can we get into, and it just doesn't stop. On 9th of April 2024, I uploaded my longest track ever, taking 44 hours to finish. You guessed it, 10,000 lap map. Not only this is the 21st longest map in Trackmania Nation Forever history, this is another point of view on what's really possible with the time limits in Trackmania. Because of these real calculations being published, we have to theorize. At lap 135,000, we could reach the infamous 596.5 hours on the timer. At 227,000 laps, if only press forward button, you could in theory clock at 1000 hours. 1 million laps if press forward button, you could get to 4400 hours, which is 6 real life months. And there we continue to lap number 2.1 billion. A possibility that you lived through this much time is brutal. 1077 years non-stop. Bonus thing I talk about is that after positive 2.1 billion, it goes to negative 2.1 billion, up to number 0. So an actual time limit might be 2155 years. The track I talk about was just limited to 2000 years of playtime if you really played until the end. Even when if you drifted and drove perfectly, there still will be over 300 years to waste anyways. And at this moment, I have a question. What other long tracks with 4.3 billion added laps in total will take to finish? And yes, with perfect human driving. Imagining EO5 to be 7,000 years long is both surprising and both a small number for mathematics. With brutal trial maps like Ouch with ad labs, it will be 130,000 years long. Decimation trial map done humanly, almost 2 million years. And disintegration trial map, about 3.4 million years of playtime. I haven't included the unfinished trials like Final Enigma and some others, because believe it or not, counting up the maps where there are no humanly added runs, there is at least imagination of how long could any of the hardest maps be. Likely if one lap was 596 hours, then the limit of every lap was combined, it will show up this giant number. 292 million years. If we could drive over and over again beyond 9 the entire time with no pause whatsoever, we will eventually finish that one track from the age of Pangea to this day. Remember, this is a theory of how Trackmania Nation Forever could be pushed to its time limits in the game. Thanks a lot for watching, and remember, Trackmania is more than just a simple game.